Hey everybody, welcome. Come on in. How's everyone doing? Thank you for coming to this session. This is a brand new addition to the VA Business Launchpad called the VA Launchpad in Action. And I'm thrilled you're here. Thank you for being here. And I'm coming to you from Connecticut. This is me living the life of someone who can work wherever I am. And it looks like this video is a little slow, so I hope that's going to be okay. I want to tell you a little bit about my setup. I have 3 screens here attached to my laptop, and it's really pretty cool. The whole thing fits into this little case right here that I can carry, and it makes it so that I can do presentations like this and do client work as well. It sounds good. That's good, Karen. Thank you. Yeah, and do client work. I was in the car trying to work earlier today, and I was losing my mind because I'm so used to the 3 screens. Because, like emails on one screen, my calendar's on another, and I can do multiple things at a time. So I'm very grateful for my 3 screens my travel screens. So we're going to start with your ahas. So tell me what you learned yesterday. What made you smile? Like, what was the thing? Because yesterday we're gonna review what we talked about. But we talked about money, and I would love to hear if any of you had some ahas about that. All right. And hello, Ash from the UK. Hello. And Karen's here, and Lillian, Erin is here, Robin is here. Hello, Tracy, Donna, Wendy. It's so good to see you all. Thank you for coming. So here's what we're gonna do during our session. We're going to do a very high level overview of what you learned yesterday. And we're going to do some coaching and homework review. And then we're going to have a random drawing for the people who did their homework and give away 3 prizes. Okay. So Karen says methods to get the word out and money is good. Yeah, the money can be good. The money can absolutely be good. So tell me what else are your ahas? Okay. And thank you for showing up for yourself. I say that in all sincerity. I know that for a lot of us, it's hard to do that. We put everyone else first. And we prioritize ourselves last. And something like this, starting a business is it's something that you need to put yourself first. You need to put yourself first. And, and when we do that, we can actually have the capacity to give more and be more generous because we have more to give from, right? And also, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting me to be your guide and your coach and your mentor during this time together. I'm really very grateful for it. All right. So Tracy says that I can charge a premium price for my services. Yeah. Loved the party, loved meeting and learning, not feeling alone in this adventure. Yeah. And having a clearer idea to do what to charge when our work doesn't take a full hour. Yes, good. How to charge by the hour? Yes. The best thing I learned in sales training years ago was my mindset on money was getting in the way of sales. When I think it's too expensive, the customer does too. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Amen to that. Okay, good. All right. So, I want to give you a little bit of background because I know for some of you, this is the first time that you're here. So this is me and my husband, Greg, on the day we closed on our farmhouse in January of 2024. And it was one of the happiest days. And it's also was one of the scariest. I'd been working on my goal of being a homeowner for over a decade before it happened. There was a lot of things that had to click into place. It was a big deal. I had to fix my credit. I had to pay off the credit card debt. I had to get into a good place with the IRS. And I'm happy to report I made my last payment to them April 2025, April 28th, 2025, to be exact. That was my payment day, the big day of the month, right? And it was a big deal to do that. And it was a journey. And one of my friends said to me, and I tell this story a lot, but it really clicks with me that when everything settled down and when I was with Greg and when the credit card debt was, handled, and when the IRS was under control, and when Emily was, coming into her own and she was thriving, she said to me, if I had told you in 2010 that you were going to be happily married, you're going to love spending time with your husband, that your daughter would be thriving, that you would have an amazing business that filled you up and that you loved, that you were going to be a homeowner one day, that you were going to have a flock of chickens and you were going to learn how to quilt, all these things, I would have, not only would I would not have believed her, I would have felt as if she was being cruel, because I was so far away from that it just seemed like it was impossible. I mean, I really was of the mindset for a long time. These are the words I would say to myself: buckle up, buttercup, because this is just the reality. You're in the land of minimum payments, and maybe one day you'll get them all done, but you might as well just get used to making them. And I have to say that that isn't true. And that was when I was 50. And it was so ironic, because at 50, I thought that I was at the end of my rope. It's kind of insane being 64 now, and that's like 14 years ago, thinking that there's like most of it, all the good stuff had passed, when really for me, so much good stuff has happened, and there's so much more in my future that I look forward to. So it did take focus. It took work, and mostly what it took was getting clear on what I wanted. I got clear on the kind of marriage I wanted. I got clear on my money. I got clear on the kind of business that I wanted. I got clear that I wanted to own a home, and I started making decisions from that place. Right, from that place. And that made a huge difference, right? That made a huge difference. And I just want to say this, when everything feels like it's falling apart for you, I just want you to know it's not too late. It's not too late to make changes in your life. Okay. And so let's just see. So Ash says, my aha moment was, why am I selling myself short and wanting to charge so little and devaluing my services when I should be confident and know my service areas, that my service areas will be providing really very well. Yes, yes. And, and it's, Ash, it's so common, when I first meet students in VA school and, we're talking about the pricing, it's very common for people to do that, because there's a couple things. One, the way that we feel about ourselves, right? And then a lot of you have people saying, you can't charge that much. I mean, when I started out as a VA, people said, you're never going to get $50 an hour. That's never happening. And no problem. Did everyone hire me? No, that's okay. If everyone wanted to hire me, I wouldn't have enough time to do all the work. So it's okay. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Good. All right. So, I want you to take a deep breath, and I would really like you to tell me what you want in the chat. Like, it just helps to put it out into the universe, right? Put it out into the universe and plant a seed, put a stake in it, because it absolutely can be your reality. All right. Okay. Yeah, and Karen says hiring a full-time employee costs way more. Yeah, and that's the thing, like my clients didn't want a full-time employee. Like, what was I going to do with my clients who were, marketing coaches, and, they were working like 30 hours a week. They didn't need full-time support. And so it actually, one of the benefits that I haven't talked about is that, so when you have an employer, you have this like long-term committed relationship with them. Like, you see them every day, you're talking to them, they're giving you direction, all the things. When you have 15 clients, you're not working with them all every day. So there's not enough time for someone that you're not madly in love with to get on your nerves, right? They're not going to get under your skin, because it just stays at a different level. And so that's one of the benefits as well, right? That's one of the benefits as well. So I really love this slide. I'm gonna see if I can change the view a little bit, because I want you to see this. Let's see, how do I do that? Like this. Okay. So you can see you are here on the left, and you want to be here on the right, right? And I know it's on the right, right? Financial freedom, flexibility, working from home, all the things, able to take care of your kids, your parents, yourself. And we really want to get there. We are desperate to get there. And so in order to try to get there, we try a lot of different things. We try an Etsy store. We try multi-level marketing. We try selling essential oils. We get a part-time job. We go back to school, fill in the blank, right? And we keep running into not only the mindset meteor field, but the meteor field of the limitations for those fields. Like MLM, there are a lot of people that are good at it, but my experience has been there's a few at the top, that are really have talent and can build those uplines and downlines and all that stuff. The thing about being a virtual assistant is you only have to rely on you. You don't have to build a team. You can be an individual contributor and do the work. And it's just a much simpler way to do this. And then the other thing is, you might be running into people telling you, what if this doesn't work? What will fill in the blank field? My mom, my kid, my brother, my whoever, we all have those people in our lives who are giving us their opinion. And then here's the one this one came up recently and I thought, oh yeah. So what if it does work and I can't keep up? What am I going to do then? Right? So here we are. How can we even get started when we're afraid of succeeding and we're afraid of failing in the exact same breath? Right? It's just going to make it impossible. And this is all tied to imposter syndrome, right? And who is this resonating with? Who is this resonating with? Because so this is where I was. Throw on top of it a terrible marriage, trying to figure out how to be a single mom, a pile of debt, and you've got a pretty good picture of my life 15 years ago. And I was putting so much pressure on myself. I thought there was something wrong with me because it just seemed like I was the only one in the world who couldn't figure out how to make my life work. It seemed like everybody else figured it out. Okay. Yeah. And if that's you, I got you. Now let's just change this because the thing is that something inside me shifted. And I realized I had to stop chasing so many things. It wasn't working. And I had to look at the life that I wanted and stop listening to all the people who had opinions about what I was doing, right? And some of them were trying to help me. And frankly, others were not. And I had to come to terms with that. But choosing to be a virtual assistant changed everything for me because I found a way to take my introverted, kind of quirky self and turn it into a business. I had good organizational skills. I had a strong desire, like you, to help other people, and I love to learn new things. And that's kind of the trifecta, right there for being a great VA. And you can do that too when you learn how to run a successful business, right? So, hi, Deanna. Nice to see you. And Donna says, not worried about it. Not worried about too much about. Wait. Not worried about too much, worried about the first one. Oh, not being successful. Yeah. I know. I know we all have these fears. And so the thing is that you have to decide, are you going to let the fears run your life or are you going to figure it out? And, for me, being a virtual assistant, I didn't go in, let's see what happens if. Right. I mean, that was a big thing. And I want to draw attention to that because I didn't go in every day saying, well, I'll try this and see if it works, or I'll try that and see what the result is. I went in and I said, I'm going to make this work. What am I going to do to make that happen? And every day I did that. Right. Every day I did that. So I see your comment, Wendy. AI is a huge factor. Tell me what you're thinking about that. Tell me what you're thinking about that. Because a lot of virtual assistants are afraid that their work is going to be taken away from by AI. It's not even close, you guys. I am on AI all day long. And sometimes I just think, why am I even using this tool? It's so crazy because sometimes it's helpful and other times it acts like it's drunk, So I think AI is going to be a tool for us, but I in no way, and it might change what we do. Just like the computer changed the typewriter. I was working on a typewriter and the computer changed the typewriter. It changed what I did, but it actually made it better, So I think AI is going to be the same way. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see what Karen said. Let's see. I missed that comment. All right. Well, I'll just keep going, but yeah, good. AI will replace process. It will. Yeah, it will replace some process, but you still have to check the work. You still have to check the work. So let's jump over to the next slide. So I've broken a successful VA business into 4 ingredients, right? And just like a cake, when you have the right ingredients, voila, you have something fabulous. So the first one is, the first ingredient is client attraction. You've got to have a steady stream of clients to make this work. You can't just get 2 clients, think you're all set, and you're done, because that was not sustainable. And that's why I teach this in detail to my students, because people think they have to bug people, they think they have to approach strangers or cold call, or like act like a salesperson. You do not. I am not that person, and I was very successful as a virtual assistant, but it wasn't because I was an ace, salesman, believe me. And so on Tuesday, I taught you the first step to that, which is talking about your work in a clear, simple way, right? How many of you guys practice that? I'd love to know how many you practice. That's really critical. The second ingredient is pricing and packaging, because money can be so stressful. So wondering, how much to charge, flat rate, project, by the hour. There's a ton of information about this on the internet, all confusing. I tried them all. I read the books, I tried them all, and I came up with a strategy that I loved, that my clients loved, and that my students loved. And it was really a wonderful way to get paid. It's called the debit card system. And I have a whole standalone course all about that. It comes with VA school as a bonus, but it is a step-by-step system on how to accept credit cards, all the templates you need, all of the text, the swipe files, as they call it, that you need to communicate with clients. And then on Thursday, I showed you my revenue calculator, right? And that is how you can choose your hourly rate. And we're going to talk about that more in a couple of minutes. We're gonna talk about 3 different scenarios. All right. Number 3 is VA business skills. You need to know how to run a business. So many new VAs think the most important thing is the tech. It's not. Right? It's knowing how to position yourself as a business owner, how to talk about your pricing, how to set your boundaries, and how to talk to potential clients. And we talked a lot about that during our training as well. And number 4 is the VA operating system, right? The VA operating system, managing the day-to-day. And these are the systems you need to put in place to run your business smoothly, because once you have 1 or 2 clients, you need to make sure that you have things in place to keep organized. And one of the things I call it my find it in 5-second file organization tool. And you really do need to keep all of your work really straight, your deadlines straight, your calendar straight. And I teach you how to do that step by step so that you can run your business like a champ. And when these 4 ingredients come together, you have everything you need to run a business, right? Now, as part of our, sorry guys, I'm working in a little small area here. I just want to take this away for a minute. As part of our work together, we wrote down in our workbook what we want for our lives and for our families. And I wonder, how many of you guys did that? How many of you wrote down what you want? And, and then I asked you to go fast forward 12 months. And the question is, if nothing changes, where will you be? Right? If nothing changes, where will you be? Will you be doubting yourself? Waiting, saying not yet, not yet. And what I always did was I convinced myself I needed to work harder. If I just worked harder, this is going to work. And I just kept doing the same thing over and over, but with no better results. And I would just burn myself out and be exhausted, because deep down, better. But when you don't know what else to do, we do the thing that's familiar, the thing that's right in front of us, right? And I stayed stuck for years doing more of the same. And actually, I didn't stay stuck. I'm going to show you in a minute a slide that I love, because the thing is that we're never standing still, right? We're never really standing still. We're moving forward or sliding backward. And I want to show you this slide here. This is, let me show you that slide. Okay, this is a slide that Mark created for me, but it's based on a book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Really good book. And what he talks about here is, you can see, so here we are at failure. So failure right here is I don't have enough money. I can't pay my bills. I don't have work. I can't find a job. My doctor told me I need to lose 20 pounds, like whatever it is, you define it, failure. And then what happens is we get a little scared and we do what it takes to get ourselves up to survival. I just got my teeth cleaned a minute ago, and the dental hygienist said I need to use the rubber tip. You guys know what the rubber tip is, and so she said you need to use the rubber tip, and and I said I know. I already know that. We already know what we need to do, right? And so we go from failure here, like they're telling me I need to do this thing, and then I do it for a while, right? And then what do we do right here? We stop doing it, and we get back and we go back to the dentist again, and they say you need to use the rubber tip. And then we say, okay, I will, right? And this happens for years. Yeah. And Carrie says, I've spent a year trying to just start. I don't know how to get my name out in front of people. Yeah. And Heather said, I stayed stuck and was burnt out for years. VA school helped me step in a new direction. Yes. And that's true, Carrie. If you decide to sign up for VA school, you won't stay stuck. You'll know exactly what to do. You'll know exactly what to do. And so what happens is we stay on this curve, right? We stay on this curve, and then, whoops, sorry, you guys, I'm having mouse difficulties. Okay, yeah, I'm not a laptop girl. That's the truth. Okay, and right now I'm on my laptop. So we're on this curve, and if we just kept doing the things that worked, that got us that first client or that second client, and we just kept doing it, we would move right up to success. But that's not human nature. And Jeff Olson goes as far as to say, this is a little like daunting, but he says, really, without support, only 1 in 20 people will be able to do this. Only 1 in 20 people. And so, and all you have to do is look around the world and you can see that, right? You can see where people get stuck. And so this is an important thing to know. Now, when you understand how the Slight Edge works, you can make a choice. Right? You can choose to be a virtual assistant. You'll stop chasing all the other paths and you'll take the most direct route for making consistent income working from home, and you'll be successful, right? And some of you are afraid it won't work, but the thing is it only doesn't work if you quit. If you wake up every day and say, I am in this, what am I going to do today? There is no failure. There is no failure. And you get someone like me or whoever you choose to get you on that path, so you're spending your time doing the right things. That's the big kicker for me. I'm not afraid of putting in the reps and doing what I need to do to have what I want, but I need to make sure I'm doing the right things, because there's nothing. Can you imagine? You decide let's say you went on a diet and you want to lose 20 pounds and someone's feeding you candy bars and you're like, this doesn't seem right, So you want to make sure that you've got a guide that knows how to take you to the place you want to go. Now on yesterday, we talked all about the revenue calculator, and the revenue calculator is just one of 4 calculators that's in VA school. And if you turn to page 22 in your workbook, you're going to see how you can calculate your hourly rate. And I want to talk about 3 common mistakes that people make when they're pricing their services. All right. So the first one is they copy what other people charge. Okay, so Susie's charging $50 or Susie's charging $15. That's what I should charge. And the truth is what Susie's doing has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you at all. I'm just going to adjust this because we don't really need to see those numbers. So copying someone else, not a good scenario. Okay. The other thing is we pull numbers from thin air, and here's how that works. So I've seen this many times. Someone will come to me and say, I'm working all the time. I'm putting in the hours. I have plenty of clients. I just can't make enough money. And there's 2 things that are true when that happens. One is their pricing is based on fear, so they're not charging enough. The other thing is they're probably not charging for all their time. And that's another thing I teach you how to do in VA school. You want to charge for every minute you're working. And there's a very respectful, responsible way to do that, and so I want that to be for you as well. So pricing based on fears, mistake number 2, and not charging for all your time. I think there's like really 4 mistakes, but we're going to roll those into 2 for now. Okay. And then, so hold on. So I just put 3 of them together. So pricing based on fear is I'm so new. This is what I should charge. Like I have to prove myself. I have to pay my dues, which is not true. There's no dues. You have no dues to pay. You can go right out of the gate at the price that you want, and then pulling numbers from the air. So, all right. So copying what other people's charge, whatever they charge, pricing based on your fears, and pulling numbers from the air with no strategy, no math, right? And the formula is very simple. It's your income goal, your monthly income goal, or your yearly income goal, and you just divide it by how many hours you want to work, and you get your hourly rate, and then you can make adjustments. So, for example, this is not the actual calculator. This is the picture right here. But you put how much you want to. Let's move my mouse over here. You put your annual goal right here, and then here you what's the word I want? Play around with. There you go. That's the highly scientific word. You play around with these 3 numbers here: your hourly rate, billable hours per week, and weeks work per year, and it lets you know when everything aligns and when you've hit your number. So, for example, let's say that you didn't want to charge $40 an hour, you want to charge 35. You could change the billable hours per week from 25 to other numbers and figure out how many you would need to bill to hit your $50,000 goal. So it's really just simple math, but a lot of people don't take the time to do it. And that's when they get into trouble and they don't understand why they're not having the success that they want. All right. Okay. Now, this is a really hideous slide. I'm warning you. I just came up with this yesterday and right before the session. And so we're just gonna walk through it, okay? So there are different categories that people fall into when they want to start their own business, and it's important to it's important to make sure you understand what your financial goal is. All right. So the first one here, let me do this so you can see it. Okay, so the first one is the part-timer, okay? They want to earn $2,000 a month, okay? Very doable. In order to do that, they are going to work 10 hours a week. And when you do the simple math, 10 hours times, apparently there are 4.3 weeks in a month. I did not know that until ChatGPT told me the other day. Actually, Claude told me. So 10 hours times 4.3 is 43 billable hours a month. And then you take the $2,000 you want to make and you divide it by 43 and you get your hourly rate of $47. Okay. Now I want to show you 2 more examples, and I want to show you something that was kind of fascinating actually. Okay. So here's the career changer. So the career changer wants to make $4,500 a month working 20 hours a week. So that's $54,000 a year. So that's 20 hours. They want to work, 20 hours a week times 4.3 weeks, so 86 billable hours. All right. So $4,500 divided by 86 is $52 an hour. All right. So you can see in one way, that billable rate is $52 an hour. The other scenario, it's 47. And just by adjusting the number of billable hours you have, it changes the bottom line number considerably. And so that's how you can turn the volume up and down on your revenue, right? And then here's the salary replacer. So let's say they want $5,000 a month. They want to work 25 hours a week. This is totally doable. And they want to make 60 grand a year. So 25 hours multiplied by 4.3 weeks. So they're going to bill 107.5 hours in a month. And you divide 5,000, what they want to earn, by 107.5, and that's $47 an hour. Now that's the same amount of an hour as the part-timer who is only working 10 hours a week, but they're making $2,000 a month versus 5. So can you see how that happens? And can you see why it's super important that you do the math? Because you could really make some assumptions that don't make sense. right, that don't make sense. And, the wrong clients are going to say it's too expensive. And that's okay, right? Because your prices are strategic, they're not emotional. And it's important to know that business is not a place to bring your emotions, right? So our homework, part of our workshop yesterday, we figured out our hourly rate, and I'd love to hear, did you guys do that? Did you figure it out? And how do you feel about that number? How do you feel about that number? And I want to talk about our homework in a minute, but let me check up. Whoops, I'm sorry. Let me check in with the chat here. Okay, good. All right. So Wendy, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because it's like a whole video in VA school, but essentially, if work takes you want to charge for the work that you do, right? So if something takes 20 minutes, you charge for 20 minutes. If something takes 30 minutes, you charge for 30 minutes. If something takes 33 minutes, you charge for 35 minutes. So you always roll up to the next 5 minutes. However, you need a system and this is part of the VA operating system, right? And the pricing as well, where you are making sure you're charging for text messages. You make sure you're charged for quick yes or no answers, in email. And there are like tiers that I teach my students about when to charge 5 minutes, when to charge 10, and when to charge 15. And the truth is that you can bill an hour in a short amount of time by answering lots of quick questions, right? However, if you were answering, let's say you had 5 questions from one client, you would just start the clock and you would answer all of those questions and you would bill the actual time. But sometimes clients come out of the blue and I haven't heard from them and we're not in the middle of a project and they just want a quick answer about something. And so that's when I charge a little bit more. So that's how that works. Okay. All right. So I want to talk about the power of writing your business vision and why it works. So when you write down your vision for your VA business, you're not just daydreaming and you're creating a roadmap that your brain can follow. And there's actual science behind this because when you write something down, you activate multiple areas of your brain simultaneously, making it more likely that you'll remember and act on what you've written. And it's important to be really clear because most people have kind of you're welcome, Wendy, have kind of a funny, like, no, not a funny, like a vague idea of what they want. Like they want to work from home, they want to be their own boss, but vague goals produce vague results, right? And when you write specifically what you want your day to look like, as a successful VA, what time you wake up, where do you work, how do you feel, what your income allows you to do. You give your subconscious mind clear instructions. And once you have a written vision, every decision becomes easier because you'll make the decisions based on what you want. So if a low paying client shows up and you want to make $50,000 a year, you say no and you turn the work down. Right? Because you say, okay, does working for $15 an hour fit the business I described? And maybe I should spend the time doing something else. And so you really have to think about that. And writing your vision also forces you to bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Because when you describe yourself confidently presenting your $50 hour rate, to ideal clients, you start to identify the needs to change that to become a reality, right? The vision pulls you forward. And, here's the thing, freedom and flexibility, we use that a lot. I want time freedom, time flexibility, financial freedom. Those are abstract concepts, but when you write about picking up your kids from school without permission or taking Tuesday afternoon off, you make those benefits real and specific. And that specificity creates motivation during difficult moments, right? So 6 months from now, when you're earning consistent income as a VA, you'll look back at that written vision and see how many details came true. And this builds confidence in your ability to create what you envision and makes it more likely that you'll achieve bigger goals. And your homework assignment was to write this down. And I'd love to know how many of you did this. How many of you did this? And we're going to review some homework right now. Okay. So here's one of the people. So lots of people submitted their homework, which is very exciting. And we're going to jump into a few of them. All right. So being a successful VA has allowed me to take control of my life, including paying off my debt. I'm able to feel pride in myself again because I'm successfully supporting myself and not completely stressed out every day. That sounds good. I'm happy to be working from home and not having to travel by public transportation every day. I've built mutually respectful relationships with clients who appreciate what I do. I wake up and feel positive instead of dreading getting out of bed. That's awesome, right? I love that. I love that. Okay, here's another one. Up at 5:30 to do my morning routine, teeth, health measurements, reading, exercise, etc. 8 a.m., start day, catch up, emails, check calendar. 9 a.m., start client business. 11, take break for brunch, exercise. 12 to 3, client stuff, rest of day, dog errands, networking. That sounds awesome, right? Who doesn't want a life that looks like that? Here's one. It would help me be able to take care of my grandchildren. Financial, it would help me set my husband and I up to live our life and not just survive. I will feel happy and relaxed. That's amazing. I love these, you guys. I really I really appreciate how willing you were to go into these stories because I know how difficult it is. So here you are in your current circumstance, and you're like, what am I even writing down? And I don't have it with me, but I have the I have on my desk at home that little orange post-it that said, April 2024, living in our new home. And I looked at that thing every single day. And for probably over a year, I thought, what am I even talking about? How is that even going to happen? Right? Yeah. Good. Good. So here's another one. Being a virtual assistant has completely changed my day-to-day life. No more early alarms, rushing to catch transit or long commutes. I get to start my mornings on my own terms. My schedule is finally mine, and I love the freedom of taking time off without needing permission. What makes it even better is how rewarding work feels. I get to support clients, build relationships, and keep fine-tuning my skills with every project. It's not just a job, it's a career with purpose, and I feel proud of how far I've come. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry if you guys dropped off. Yeah. Yeah. So, really, if you didn't do this homework, I strongly encourage you to do it. I strongly encourage you, especially if you're going to sign up for VA school, because the thing is that you want that strong grounding when you start, right? You want to know, okay, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to get. I'm going to get help, and we're going to move in. Awesome. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys. So inspiring. Okay. All right. So are you guys ready to win some prizes? I'm ready to give away some prizes. All right. So here we go. Here's what we're giving away today. All right. First up, we are giving away lifetime access to one of my most loved resources, the debit card system. And this is how your clients will pay you, and how they pay you will change so much in your business, because you're going to get paid upfront. No more chasing invoices, writing contracts, or wondering when the money is going to hit your bank account, right? You're going to learn the same system I've been using for 14 years in my own VA business. It's simple, it's effective, and it works. So I'll show you how to set up credit card payments using Stripe, how to add payment links to any website or platform, and how to use the exact wording for your client email so it's crystal clear how and when you're going to get paid. Literally everything you need is inside, and most of my students implement this right away. And not only do they love it, their clients love it too. And today, one of you all is going to win. Okay, so that's the first thing we're giving away. The second thing we're giving away is a 30-minute strategy session with me. Mandy will contact you after the doors to VA school are closed, so I can give you my full attention, and we can talk about anything you want. Anything you want at all. You can bring, sometimes students bring, people bring a long list of all the things, and we just work through it. I record the session so you can have access to it, and you can listen to it again and implement all the suggestions. Okay, so that's number 2. Whoops, and I am like mouse. Hold on. Okay. I laugh when I'm trying to do some of this stuff on the fly. It's like, this just shows you that you don't have to be perfect, right? And then a $25 Amazon gift card. So you can use this for something you want, something you need, share it with a friend. And if you live in a country where Amazon gift cards are not used, just let us know and we'll figure it out. All right. Because our community that just hit 60,000 people is in 47 countries. So it's possible there's someone in this room today from somewhere far away from Amazon. Okay, good, good. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to bring over the wheel of names. Okay. All right, good. I'm going to turn on the drum roll. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give away the debit card system. Okay, the debit card system. So let me start the wheel. Okay, Callan Montgomery. Congratulations, Callan Montgomery. Mandy will be in touch. You are the winner of the debit card system. Congratulations. That's great. Okay. All right. Next up, we're giving away a 30-minute strategy session with me. Here we go. Great. Glenda Williams. Congratulations. That's awesome. Can't wait to meet you. All right. And then the third thing we're giving away today is a $25 Amazon gift card. I'll start the drum roll again. All right. We'll spin the wheel. Ah, all right. Tanya Plumberton. Tanya Plumberton. Actually, I think we met. Are you a VIP? Is it? I think you said it rhymed with China. Tina. Plumberton. Okay, good. That's great. Congratulations. All right, let me move the wheel out of the way. All right, good. Good. And here we go. So congratulations, everybody. I'm very excited for you. So now that you've written your vision, that clear picture of what life looks like as a successful virtual assistant, I want you to hold on to that feeling, the excitement, that possibility. Because here's the thing, having a vision is powerful, but a vision without a plan is just a wish. And that's exactly why I want you to go back and watch the VA Business Launchpad replays if you haven't already. Not because you missed something, but because now with your vision written, you're going to hear it all differently. Okay. When I talk about the 4 essential ingredients in training 1, you'll connect them to your specific goal. When we cover the client referral formula in training 2, you'll imagine yourself using it with confidence. And when we walk through the revenue calculator in training 3, you'll see exactly how those numbers fit into the life you just described. So your vision gives you context for everything you're about to learn. And the replays are available till Thursday night, and then they're gone. So don't let this moment pass. Watch all 3 trainings. Go to vabusinesshub.com. I think I can put that up. vabusinesshub.com. Yes, right here, vabusinesshub.com. All right. Your written vision is the destination. The replays to the Launchpad are your GPS. Okay. You've got this. You've got this. All right. So for all of you, enrollment is going to open for VA School on Monday. And I really want you to get on the wait list. There's going to be a benefit to being on the wait list. You'll find out over the weekend, but make sure you put yourself on the wait list. Just go to thevaschool.com, right here, thevaschool.com. Put yourself on the wait list, and you're going to be the first to hear when enrollment opens, and you're going to get a special treat. Okay, good. All right. And a couple more things. All right, actually, one more thing. Before we wrap up, I want to invite you to something special. So we've spent this week learning about the 4 ingredients of a successful VA business. And you've calculated your hourly rate, you've got your vision, you've seen what's possible. And many of you are probably saying, what's next? Like, how do I actually make this happen? And that's exactly why I'm hosting a behind the scenes tour of VA school Monday night at 5 p.m. Eastern. Because VA school is where you take everything you've learned this week and turn it into a real working business. It's the step-by-step system that I've used to help nearly 1,000 students launch their VA careers. And during this Monday session, I'm going to show you inside an actual VA school classroom, the exact templates and tools my students use, real student case studies and results, and how the program works and whether it's right for you. Okay, so this is not a high pressure sales pitch. It's a genuine look at what it takes to build a VA business and how VA school can help you get there faster. Okay, so this session is already on your calendar. If you subscribe to the calendar, if you didn't, you can go over to the VA Business Hub. There's a big image there. It says grab the calendar, and we will be, it's already there. You just download it, okay? Now, there's going to be a few more sessions coming up that we're in the process of adding to the calendar. I am in Connecticut right now and going to a family wedding this weekend. But tomorrow morning, if not this evening, I'll be sitting down and adding the other bonus trainings we're going to have because I want to answer all your questions. Right? We're going to have a sneak peek on Monday. On Tuesday, I'm having a brain bubble. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love this session. The truth about virtual assistants and money. We're going to have a session on that. Wednesday, we're going to have a panel of virtual assistants that are VA school graduates. You can ask them anything you want. And then on on Thursday, we're going to have an epic Q&A session where I make sure everybody's questions get answered about all things VA school and virtual assistants. Okay, good. Good. All right. So you guys, you've done the hard work. You showed up. So let me show you how you can turn all of that into a consistent income working from home. Okay. I'll see you Monday. Bye for now.